Hello, everybody. Hello, how are you? How are you? Thank you so much. Welcome to the Paul Altman Show, the podcast. Today we are going to be talking about the Leaving Neverland documentary, which stars two new accusers. One, a former choreographer to the stars, such as NSYNC and Britney Spears. And note, surprisingly, his idol, Michael Jackson. And he's also a dance teacher. No, James Safechuck, on the other hand, he was a child star, but now he's working as a computer programmer in California. And it's been directed by Dan Reed, who I shall say, Pan Greed. Huh. Yeah, I agreed about that one. It's so... This whole documentary is only one-sided. Only one-sided. It's only about like, mock wedding, that's kind of really not realistic with me, my boy. The other thing I want to point out is that, you wanted to meet Michael Jackson, and some of them, like, I don't know, he was like, they just had their mothers, their wives, their siblings, that's just not a good idea to start a documentary. If you're going to do a documentary on Michael Jackson, you have to get both sides of a story on any accounts. And what Dan Reed has done is that he himself got himself in a pickle, in a way that it's just so not realistically, not mentally, not correctly or accurate. It's how you put yourself out there, and it's all about the money. And what's the funniest thing is that I'm done talking about the film right now. Squash that because that is not in my bill. I'd rather watch freaking, you know what I'm saying, like, This Is It and the Dangerous Tour in Bucharest and some sorts. And I have people say, yeah, you're obsessed. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Just don't try to get plastic surgery or think you're someone's twin brother. Like, sorry, I try to put a little positivity. Moving on, going back to the story. And somewhere on the line in that film, James whips out a ring, and it's too big to be fitting on a child, for a 7-year-old child, and now you look back at it as an adult now, and it could fit you. It couldn't fit you now. It probably couldn't fit you when you were little. So there's no way. And you said that you went to, Euro Disney in 1987 or 88. I could be wrong on that date. But Euro Disney did not establish until 1992. So you don't do your research, and that's the problem with today's society, is that, you take someone's word for it. It's all because of Me Too, the Me Too movement. I don't think it's their fault. I really don't think it's their fault. And the R. Kelly situation, that's just another topic for another day. But what I can do is tell you this, is that Michael Jackson has been investigated by the FBI since 1990 to 2000. I could be messing the dates up, but I do know that it's the FBI was doing it, and it turns out that Michael never molested children because they have a 300-page document on Michael Jackson, and they found nothing. And the other thing is that he is a victim of extortion attempts. It was to be said. So, Mommy, I'm going to put on a new favorite song by Michael Trapson, who does trap music that's inspired by Michael Jackson. So, I want to just sit back and get ready to hear Fuck Wade by Michael Trapson.
Wade Robson? The little nigga outside the dance.
Shimon.
The little nigga that looks like a background dancer for insane.
Oh, no.
Wade.
Yeah. I said.
Hey, come see me. I
said. Fuck Wade. Fuck James. Fuck them. Fuck them. These niggas ain't real, no. Never been real, no. These niggas ain't gang, no. These niggas straight bitch, no. Fuck Wade. Fuck them. Fuck James. Fuck Wade. These niggas ain't real, no. Never been real, no. These niggas ain't gang, no. These niggas straight bitch, no. Nigga ain't real, no. Nigga ain't got no flow. Nigga ain't got no glow. Tryna take down a black man throne. Niggas be switching they sides. Before they was down to the ride, and now they telling them lies. I'm the king that saved your life, and my kingdom's still alive. Moonwalkers, they gon' ride. I pull up on my gang one time, then I pull out the tech in your eye. Better respect the set or you die. Man, I regret the fact you alive. Wait, is a snake, but I got muscles to grip you and eat you alive. Don't talk to me, talk is cheap. Nigga, you frail, nigga, you weak, and I can tell you ain't got cheeks. That's why you coming for me, tryna get money from me. Why they get money from me? Every time run up on me, then you gon' see, and I'm not fucking with me. Fuck Wade, fuck James, fuck them, fuck them. These niggas ain't real, no. Never been real, no. These niggas ain't gang, no. These niggas straight bitch, no. Fuck Wade, fuck them, fuck James, fuck Wade. These niggas ain't real, no. Never been real, no. These niggas ain't gang, no. These niggas straight bitch, no. Yeah. Fuck that nigga Wade. Heard he cutting up, so now come catch the stand. Go ahead and make him buck, so now he throwing shade. If I see you out of traffic, look away, boy. Don't make that mistake, boy. Bitch, I'm Michael Myers, leave your body on a cage, boy. I'ma punch your eyes right out your eye socket. Don't you test me, boy, cause I'm about it. Yeah, I'm about it. Call my brothers, now we mine about it. Yeah, we mine about it.
And we're back. Welcome, and we're back. And we're back. Now I want to talk about the fans because we're 6 minutes into our time zone right now. Because this is longer than the first episode. I'm talking about fans in the community. Now, there are the numbers keep on growing because Michael Jackson, the biggest selling artist of all time, and you gotta know that. You gotta know that for sure. You gotta know that for sure. You gotta know that for sure. I am so sorry it took so long. It's been the longest pause, but it'll be faster, you guys. I don't know where I left off, but I'm gonna start new sentences. So we got like biggest Michael Jackson fan base in the world, you know. But then again, you know, people have there are haters. If you're a hater of Michael Jackson, see yourself out here. We don't discriminate anything, especially those that pretend to be a fan of Michael's. And right now there's a young man named River Gibbs who invested himself 11 years of his life into paying tribute to Michael Jackson and whatnot. And then after Leaving Neverland airs, he thinks that Michael is a pedophile now and he should quit and take down all the nonsense that's been going on. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like it's kind of like how we felt when someone got shot and everything else. It's just plain disturbing, in my opinion. And my best opinion is really just a stab in the back. Meanwhile, we got real people that cares about Michael Jackson, like my boy Michael Trapson, the king of the trap, Aaron Carter, Monique, T.I., all the other artists that is here to defend for Michael, really else. But I was really surprised that Piers Morgan actually says something, that makes totally sense. Saying that, it's just one-sided. It's just two people with their families talking. And I was like, thank you for stating the obvious, Piers. Thank you for stating the obvious. But no, no one wants to talk about that. Meanwhile, what Harvey Weinstein's trial of rape charges goes on there, but the public don't pick it up because it runs in a small pattern. Because meanwhile, Oprah is giving Wade and James a standing ovation. Meanwhile, she has a school in South Africa facing sexual misconduct and sexual allegations in South Africa. What about Gayle King? Gayle King, she's the worst of them all. Trying to ask people about their private life. What disappoints me is that journalists fail to be actual journalists instead of being, one-sided people. That's why now we live in the age where internet is more accessible, accessible to things that are important, like showing the facts and knowing the facts. And, for what? Come on now. Just be more realistic can you be? This guy changes his story every four different times. First, he said there was, I didn't forget that, I was being abused. Meanwhile, you were defending for Michael Jackson not once but twice. One when you were a teenager, and the other one when you were a full-grown adult at the age of 22 in Santa Maria, or no, either Santa Maria or Santa Barbara, where they had the infamous child molestation charges or the trial. And you had the opportunity to say if you were molested by the child. And I'm not agreeing to what Wade is saying, but let me say this. Let me think about this, everyone. Think about this in retrospect. Put this in retrospect. If Michael Jackson was actually molesting his kids, he would not allow to raise his kids alone by himself. Not just being, straight out disappointed. I want to give this special shout out in my second episode of the Paul Altman Show. I'm going to be wrapping out because we're 30 seconds on the clock here. I also want to give out to Tosh Jackson, who's doing his best to defend his uncle, and Brandy Jackson for sticking up for her uncle and exposing Wade, because she's the only one that knew him because she dated him for years. So, at the end of it, thank you, and I hope that you have a good Shimon out of here. You know it, bro.